My friends, before you close your eyes tonight, I want you to remember one thing. Prayer is not just words whispered in the dark. It is the key that unlocks miracles. Too many of us lie down with heavy hearts, carrying the weight of fear, regret, and uncertainty into our sleep. But what if you placed all of that into God's hands before you rested? What if, instead of falling asleep with worry, you fell asleep with faith? Prayer at night is not only about asking, it is about releasing. It is about saying, God, I trust you. I may not know what tomorrow brings, but I know who holds tomorrow. When you pray before you sleep, you are handing over your battles, your unanswered questions, your pain, and even your dreams to the one who never slumbers, the one who never leaves. Think about this. While you sleep, God is still working. Doors are being prepared to open. Answers are being aligned. Strength is being renewed. Healing is being formed. Breakthroughs are being set in motion. The night is not a pause in your life. It is often the preparation for your miracle. Never underestimate the power of one sincere prayer before bed. It can shift your spirit, calm your heart, and move the heavens. Some of the greatest transformations happen not in the business of the day, but in the stillness of the night when you've surrendered everything. So tonight, don't just scroll on your phone until your eyes close. Don't drift off with worry stealing your peace. Speak to your Creator. Thank Him for what He has done. Trust Him for what He will do. And release everything you cannot control. Because when you pray with faith, you don't just sleep, you rest. And when you rest in Him, miracles truly can happen overnight. Prayer is far more than a routine. It is the power that shifts unseen realities and opens the gates of miracles. When you close your eyes at night, the weight of the day often presses down. Disappointments, unanswered questions, and unfulfilled desires linger in your heart. But prayer transforms that heaviness into hope. It is not simply speaking into the air. It is a direct conversation with the one who holds every answer. A prayer before sleep is like placing your deepest burdens into divine hands, knowing that while you rest, heaven is already at work on your behalf. Miracles do not always arrive with thunder or lightning. Sometimes they unfold quietly, shaping tomorrow in ways you cannot yet see. That prayer you whisper with sincerity may be the very key that turns loss into breakthrough, fear into courage, sickness into healing, and despair into joy. Too often we underestimate the power of prayer because we look for immediate results, but true faith understands that seeds planted in prayer bear fruit in their appointed time. One heartfelt prayer spoken before you rest can change the course of your life. It may soften hearts open opportunities, or remove unseen obstacles standing in your way. It positions you not only for blessing, but for inner strength, giving you a calm spirit that trusts beyond the visible. Each time you pray, you are declaring that God is greater than your struggle, that light is stronger than darkness, and that hope will outlast fear. Never go to sleep without this act of faith, for prayer is not just words, it is the very bridge that connects your weakness to God's strength and invites the miraculous into your tomorrow. When you pray at night, it is not only about asking God for what you want, it is about releasing everything that weighs on your soul. Too often we treat prayer as a wish list, but true prayer goes deeper. It is the surrender of control. It is saying, God, I may not understand what is happening, but I choose to trust you. When you release your fears, doubts, and burdens before closing your eyes, you are no longer fighting battles in your own strength. You hand them over to the one who has unlimited power to move mountains. This act of release creates peace in your heart and frees your mind from the endless cycle of worry. It is like placing your struggles into God's hands and choosing rest instead of restlessness. Many people toss and turn at night because their hearts are heavy with anxiety about tomorrow, but the person who prays releases that anxiety and sleeps in peace, and knowing that God is already at work. Night prayer is the moment when you stop carrying the load and allow God to carry it for you. It is about letting go of the desire to control outcomes and trusting in the perfect timing of heaven. When you learn to release instead of only request, you step into a deeper relationship with God, because your faith is no longer based solely on receiving, but on trusting. This release allows you to wake up renewed with fresh strength and clarity. Prayer is not about forcing your will. It is about aligning with His. And when you align with Him through surrender, you discover that the answers come more powerfully than you imagined. Prayer at night is release. It is trust, and trust opens the door to miracles. While you rest, the world may go silent, but God never sleeps. He is constantly watching, guiding, and working behind the scenes on your behalf. When your body shuts down in exhaustion and your mind finally lets go of the noise of the day, His presence remains active, orchestrating the unseen details of your life. Too often, we think nothing is happening while we are asleep. But the truth is that some of the greatest alignments of our destiny are being arranged during those quiet hours. A prayer before sleep is not wasted breath. It is an invitation for God to move while you cannot. When you close your eyes after surrendering in faith, you allow Him to repair what is broken, heal what is hurting and align what seems out of place. Think of how seeds planted in the soil grow silently overnight. You do not see the process, yet the miracle of life is taking shape beneath the surface. In the same way, when you pray before sleeping, you are planting seeds of faith that God nurtures while you rest. He is arranging encounters, preparing opportunities, and even softening hearts that you will meet in the days to come. Prayer at night reminds you that you are not alone in your battles, because even when you stop, God continues. The weight you lay down is picked up by His mighty hands, and nothing escapes His care. Knowing that He never slumbers should give you confidence to rest without fear, because you are under divine watch. The simple act of praying before bed is an acknowledgement that while you close your eyes, heaven remains awake, turning impossibilities into possibilities and making way for the miracles you need. A sincere prayer before sleep has the power to bring a peace that no amount of effort or distraction can provide. The world is full of noise, responsibilities, and burdens that often follow us into the night, robbing us of rest and filling our minds with anxiety. But when you close your day with prayer, you invite calmness into your spirit and shift your focus from worry to trust. That moment of stillness allows you to breathe deeply and remember that you are not alone in what you face. Prayer steadies your heart and releases the inner tension that builds up from daily struggles, giving you the strength to let go of what you cannot change. Instead of being consumed by thoughts of tomorrow, prayer redirects your attention to the one who holds tomorrow securely. It is a reminder that your life is not left to chance, but guided by divine care. When you sincerely pour out your gratitude, your needs, and your struggles before sleeping, you lighten the weight pressing on your soul. That spiritual release leads to deeper rest, for peace of heart produces peace of body. Scientific studies may speak of relaxation, but faith goes further. It brings assurance that you are held in God's hands, even if problems remain unsolved. Prayer plants hope within you that solutions are on the way. It strengthens your confidence that what overwhelms you today will be overcome by the grace of tomorrow. A sincere night prayer renews your energy, refreshes your outlook, and allows you to rise in the morning with a heart unshaken by fear. It is not only an act of devotion, but also the secret to living with clarity, courage, and unshakable peace in the face of life storms. The night is often misunderstood as merely a pause between 2 days, a time when everything stops, but in truth, it is a sacred preparation ground for miracles. When the world grows quiet and distractions fade, the unseen work of transformation begins. Prayer at night becomes the channel through which your spirit connects with God's power, and in that stillness, seeds of change are planted. Just as a farmer cannot see the growth happening beneath the soil, but trusts that the seed is breaking forth in darkness, so it is with your life when you pray before sleep. Miracles rarely happen in noise or haste. They are born in the silence where faith surrenders. Each prayer whispered at night is like laying down a foundation for breakthroughs that will manifest in due time. The struggles you release, the gratitude you express, and the faith you declare in those moments create spiritual momentum that carries into your tomorrow. The night is when your heart has a chance to reset, when clarity begins to form, and when God quietly arranges circumstances in your favor. This is why so many testimonies of healing, provision, or sudden answers are described as coming overnight. Because God often moves when you are not striving but trusting. The preparation done in the stillness of night produces visible results in the light of day. When you honor the night with prayer, you invite the divine to work in ways your eyes cannot see and your mind cannot comprehend. The night is not wasted time. It is the womb of miracles, the unseen workshop of heaven, where the impossible begins to take shape. Prayer turns that silent preparation into a powerful force that brings tomorrow's victories into reality. When you end your day with prayer, you do more than close your eyes. You enter into true rest. There is a difference between sleep and rest. Many people sleep for hours but wake up exhausted because their minds never stopped running, filled with worry and fear. But when you pray before you sleep, you hand over every burden, every thought, and every unanswered question to God, allowing your heart to be still. Rest is not only physical, it is spiritual and emotional renewal, and prayer is the doorway to that kind of restoration. A prayerful heart does not carry the weight of tomorrow into the night, but trusts that God is already present in tomorrow. That trust becomes the seed for miracles, because faith is the soil in which blessings grow. As you pray, you shift from striving to surrendering, from controlling to trusting, and that posture allows God to move freely in your life. True rest begins when you recognize that the one who watches over you never sleeps and never fails. This assurance gives your spirit the peace to let go and your body the strength to recover fully. When you rest in prayer, you are not escaping reality. You are anchoring yourself in a greater reality, the reality of God's promises. Miracles happen overnight, not because you forced them, but because you allowed God to work while you rested. The peace of prayer before bed equips you to wake up not only refreshed, but also renewed in faith, ready to face the challenges of a new day with courage and clarity. Prayer is the bridge between the chaos of life and the calm of divine presence, and when you cross it before sleep, you awaken to days filled with hope and unexpected breakthroughs.